Hello and welcome to the tutorial for the newest version of the terminal system. So the reason why we're making a new tutorial video for this one is that this is a pretty significant update where we've changed quite a bit on how the system works. So I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of go over some of the new features and how everything's laid out. So some of the things are the same, but this system was entirely written from scratch, rewritten from scratch. So there's quite a few differences. So first thing first, when you open up your game, this is what you'll get. So you're going to open up Workspace here, go to this install script, and we are going to copy all of this and come down to this command line down here, and we're going to paste in that script that we just copied and click enter. And that has installed the system into your game for you. So now actually if we played this game, we'd see that when we spawn, the system is working properly. Now, if we were to walk up to one of these terminals, nothing would happen because we haven't set ourselves to be an admin in the system yet, so we can't use any of the admin commands. So we'll get to that in a moment. So it's added this capture points folder in the workspace. So this is where you'll actually add all of your capture points. And the name of these capture points can be whatever you want. I just named them ABC. These icons above the terminals will change to the name when the game starts. So if we want to add another terminal, it's actually pretty easy. We can just come over here, copy and paste our terminal, move it to where we want. So say we want one over here. Make sure it's in this capture points folder, and then we can name it whatever we want. So let's name it D in this case. So now when the game starts, we'll have another capture point named D, and we can test that really quickly to show you. So we have D here, and D in our UI as well. Right, so also on our capture points, we have an attribute called range. So right now it's set to 20, but you can set this to whatever you want. And this will determine how close a player needs to be to your capture point for the system to recognize that player. So in this case, it's 20 studs, but you can make this whatever you want. And each terminal, each capture point has its own attribute. So some could be higher radius, some could be lower radius. So that's it for that. The color and everything that you see here in the icons, we can change that in this main terminal system script here. So the only thing that you guys need to edit are these lines here. So let's go over this one by one. So we have a max score here. So this is the amount of score a team needs to get in order to win the game. And right now I've set this to 1. So the system will award a team 1 point every second for every terminal they own. So if they only own 1 terminal, they'll get 1 point every second. If they own 2 terminals, they'll get 2 points every second, and so on. So the more terminals you own, the faster you'll get these points. And the first one to 60 wins. Here's the admin list. So we have it set up to be group ID and then rank ID. So right now I've set this to be anybody who's in this group and has at least rank 1 will be able to use the admin commands. Now if I wanted this to be like the owner only, the owner rank is 255. So now only the owner of this group would be able to use the system. So here's the main new thing with this system is these team groups. So you can have an unlimited amount of team groups, and within these groups you can add multiple teams. So for example, here we have the Empire team group and the Rebels team group. However, the Rebels team group is comprised of the Rebels and the Jedi team. So we have these Rebels and Jedi team right here. So the Rebels and Jedi's team, when they go capture a terminal, they will be capturing it on behalf of this Rebel team group. So they can work together even though they're 2 separate teams. And then so we also have to add in the image for the team. So this is where you can change your icon to be your group specific icon. And here's where you can set your team color. So right now we have it set to be Empire's red and Rebels is blue. And this needed players defines how many players on this team need to be in the game for the system to automatically start. So I have it set up right now to be if there's 1 Empire person and 1 Rebel person, the raid will automatically start. if you want there to be, like, for example, 10 Empire and 5 Rebels, it would look like this. And then you'd have to have 10 Empire and 5 Rebels in the game for the raid to start. Alright, so that is that. If you want to edit how long it takes for a person to capture a terminal, you can open up the children of this script, open this terminal module, and there's this seconds to capture variable here that you can change. So right now I have it set to 5 seconds to capture, but you can set that whatever you want. This default range is what will happen. This range will get used if you don't set that range attribute on your terminals. So you don't have to worry about that as long as you're using the system properly. Yep, so that's that. So let's go over, yeah, so actually, so with the team groups as well, you can add another one. You can add a limited amount of team groups here, right? So we can just add another one here. Maybe we want a pirates team. Maybe we want it to be maybe orange. Orange looks like a pirate color. So now when we test the game, we'll actually have a pirates, actually sorry, we have to edit one more thing. We'll actually have to add a pirate team as well. So let's add the pirate team there. And we'll add it there. So it's going to be using the same icons, the Rebels, just because I haven't changed it. But as you can see, now we have 3 scores. So this will be Empire, Rebels, and Pirates. Yeah, so, but if you change the icon, you'll obviously see it update there, but we did not. So let's go to this, because we only want Empire and Rebels. And let's go over the admin commands. So we have 2 admin commands. So if this raid doesn't start automatically, an admin can say start with the exclamation mark, and then the raid will start. And then players can go up to these terminals, and they can capture them, as shown here. And you'll get this little notification. And if you want the raid to stop, you just use the stop command, and the raid will end. Next time you use the start command, or if so next time you use the start command, everything will reset to their initial values. So if you stop the raid with your admin commands, and the raid system will no longer automatically start until the admin has restarted the system. So if an admin says stop, and all the necessary players to automatically start a raid show up, the system will not start until the admin actually says start again. So that will allow admins to control the system and not have to worry about the system randomly starting on them as they're doing whatever they're doing. If you have any questions, make sure you use the products questions channel in our Discord server, and and I'll be there to answer any of your questions. I hope you guys enjoy this new update, and yeah, thank you for watching.